folks, I'm here to explain the musical coding mini challenge. So taking a look here at the requirements, first you need to watch this video so I can give you some pointers, and then you are going to be making your own musical project on Scratch. So our goal is to build a musical instrument that makes sound and vibrates when we use it. Here are the requirements. You're going to play at least 5 different pitches or different notes. We want to show vibration of the instrument where the vibration would occur. We want to maybe have a character or a narrator that tells us how to use this instrument. We are going to be making this instrument interactive by using the event blocks, either the when sprite clicked event or the when button clicked event. And if you have time by the end of class, then I would like you to make a song with your program. So to get to Scratch today, you're going to use this CS First link, log in with your Google account, and that should take you to your dashboard. From here, you have to create your own project. So you hover your mouse over the blue plus button, and you need to go down to New Project, and that will open up a new Scratch file. I will say that we did have some issues with this website. It seems to be working well now, but if there is any login issue where it's not keeping you logged in, you are welcome to use the scratch.mit.edu website. But this one should be working. Um, Once you are here, you need to think of what musical instrument you want to play. I'm not going to play Scratch Cat, so I'm going to erase that. And I decided that I'm going to go with a harp just for my example. Now, this is going to be, we're going to use backgrounds and we're going to use sprites to make the instrument. The background instrument is the stuff that I just want there, but we're not going to need to interact with, we're not going to need to touch. The parts that I am going to need to touch on my harp are the strings. So I am going to put the strings in sprites. So I'm going to start with background here, move my little head over, and I'm just going to simply paint my harp background. I want my harp to be, let's make it orange. All right. And then I'll go down over here to paint. And I'm going to keep this real simple, guys. You guys will have more time to get really good with your harps. The harps have like this big top part, and then they have this bottom part. And those are the only parts that I'm going to make for right now. I wonder if I can fill that. Oh, yeah, sure. Why not? Scratch makes it easy. All right, so that is my backdrop. I'm gonna leave it there. Next, I need to add some sprites, and I'm going to make the strings for my sprites. And just to make it extra awesome and fun, I'm gonna change the colors of each string as I go. So I'm gonna start with my first string. That's gonna be red. And for right now, I just need to draw the line and then kind of see how big it is over here. I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna drag it to where I would put that string, and that's pretty good. I think that's a nice size. What I'm going to do now is make the next string over. And to make this super easy, guys, rather than going through and clicking to make a new sprite and trying to get the line just right each time, I'm going to just click right over here onto my sprite box, right click, and duplicate it. Now, each time a string is on my harp, I need it to get a little bit shorter. So this string, I'm going to drag to where I want it. And actually it already kind of looks a little bit shorter. I might keep this one, but I do want to change its color. So to change its color, I need to select the item, click fill, and zoom its color over a little bit, or make this one orange. And you'll see once I click off of it, it changes color. So I'm going to do this again, duplicate. I'm going to drag it to where I want it to go. Alrighty, and then this one, I would like it to be yellow. We're going to make a little harp rainbow here. There we go. I'm going to do it again. Duplicate. Select my item. Let's see, I'm going to go green here. Might go for a little bit of a darker green by changing the brightness. And then I need to drag it into place. And notice as my harp starts to do this downward curve, I am going to want to shorten it a little. So to shorten it, I'm just going to use my tools and drag it down just a smidge. There we go. All right, and I'm going to keep going until I have all the strings that I want. So like I said in my requirements, I do need you to make at least 5 different note sounds, but you are welcome to make more. Make this one there. and turn it blue. And I am going to stop here because my goal is to show you guys how to get started. So I have 5 notes here. This will be good for now. All right, so taking a look here, I've got all of my notes. I've got my instrument. I'm hopping back over to these tabs up here. So I've been in the costume tab. That's where I made my notes. Now I need to code sound to happen and movement to happen. And we haven't worked very much in the sound department, so let's hop over to the sound tab. It always starts you off with this pop. Let's see, pop, just like that. But that's not very much of a musical sound, so I'm gonna make the pop go away. I'll drag this extra bar slowly out of our way over here. Oh, there's another one. Lovely. I'm not sure why there's 2 of those. All right, so over here is the sound menu, and we are going to search a sound. Now I'm thinking if I have a harp, I want it to be some sort of string instrument sound. And I already took a look. If I look down in the harp or the H section, because these are all in alphabetical order, there is not a harp sound, but there's all kinds of sounds. So what I'm going to look for is just another string instrument, such as a guitar. Ooh, here's one. Ooh, that one's really short. I want a little bit of a longer string sound. So take a moment, make sure you find the sound that works for you. There's a trumpet. So you could do different trumpet notes. But first let's talk about how can I change it. Ooh, here's a guitar. Ooh, that's good. I like the sustain on that. So I'm going to click a guitar. Now notice when you play a guitar, it has it's one note, and that's not 5 different notes, right? We want 5 different notes. To change it, we are going to make it faster or slower. On a musical instrument, the string that is the longest is going to make the lowest note. So I'm going to slow it down. That's good for my lowest note. All right, so now this sound I can put into code. So I want to say, and make sure you're selected on the sprite that you want to make a sound for. In my event blocks, I have 2 options here. Either I can do when a certain button is pressed, play this note, or I can do when this sprite is clicked, do a certain note. So I'm going to go my sounds. I want to say, I'm going to use this event block, so I'll throw this one away for now. When this sprite is clicked, play a guitar sound until done. Just like that. So I just go over here and click it, and it plays the sound. That makes it interactive. All right, so I also want my note to jiggle. I want it to show the vibration, and this is really easy to do once you know how to do it. If you've ever played with costumes before, you might know where I'm going. So I'm going to need a second event block. I also want, when this sprite clicked, I want it to switch to a certain costume. But first I have to make the costume. That makes sense, right? So I'm going to make sure I'm clicked on the correct sprite, hop over to my costumes bar. And again, I'm going to use that wonderful duplicate feature. So again, to get this menu to pop up on a Chromebook, you need to do a 2-finger click. Or if you have a mouse, that is a right click. I'm going to select my object. And for a vibration is just a very small movement. So I'm going to have it tilt one way, duplicate, select my item, and tilt the other way. So now I can play with this and see how it looks when I jiggle it back and forth. Now I need to remember costume 1 is like my resting position. So I want, when I click this sprite, I want it to switch from costume 2 to costume 3. And at the end, after it does that, I want it to go back to costume 1. Now, if I tried to play this code right now, you're going to notice that not much happens. That's because computers process all this code instantly. So we need to actually tell the computer to wait a millisecond in between things. And that's going to be in the control section. We're going to put a wait block in between. Oopsie. A wait block in between these. And I'm actually also going to want some of these to repeat. So I actually want it to switch back and forth between costume 2 and 3 a couple of times. So now, pulling this off just to see how it looks, We're going to repeat, switch from costume 2 to costume 3, to costume 2 to costume 3. So now that is a little bit slow, right? So 1 second is going to be too long of a wait in between. So I'm going to go down to about 0.3. 0.3. You guys can see that's already jiggling a lot better now. And then at the end, I want to make sure it switches back to costume 1. There we go. So now once I have this base code, I can just recreate this in all of the other sprites. So I'm going to do that same idea. This time I'm going to do it just as an example. I'm going to keep it when space key is pressed. When space key is pressed, I'm going to need to go back and get that sound again and make it slightly different. So a guitar, I want it to be maybe that one right there. All right, so I'm going to say play this new guitar sound. Oopsie. And then I'm going to repeat that movement again. So here I'm just going to duplicate my costume, make it do a little tilt one way, duplicate, make it do a little tilt the other way. And then I recreate that code in here with my costumes. So I want it to switch from costume 2 to costume 3. We're going to need to put those weights in the center and make sure that they are not too long. And the other neat thing about vibration and sound is that the higher the note goes, the quicker it vibrates. So instead of putting it at 0.3 this time, I'm going to put it at 0.27. That is going to be slightly faster than the red note. So you're going to notice, when space key pressed. That's right. So this one's not going to vibrate at exactly the same frequency. Oh, and I also want to make sure I remember to switch it back to its holding still costume, so it's nice and straight after I play notes. All right, so that is all I have for you here. Remember, you can make any kind of musical instrument. Your goal is to have 5 different kinds of pitches, show the vibration that the instrument makes as it is played. Make sure something I didn't get to is adding a character or a narrator that would just come in and say, this is a harp. You can play it by, and then you have to tell me, like, do I press a button to make it play or do I just click it to make it play? So that should be pretty easy, just a quick conversation note. And then you make it interactive by using those event blocks that I showed in my video. If you have time, make a song about it. I would love to see your project. So I hope you guys have fun with this. Good luck and have a wonderful time.